Due to all the lies within Judaism and their attempt to create an Old and New Testament format to hide the future prophecies against them, including Exodus, they forgot to mention that Jesus has sons. Not only that, he will become a grandfather. When? During the times of Revelation. So let's read. These are the generations of Jacob and Joseph. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. That's why Joseph is born on Ethiopian Christmas Day on Tassus 29, also known as January 7th, while his son Jesus was born in the springtime. So Joseph, being Christ, being born on Christmas Day, will reign over us, and he shall indeed have dominion over us. Why? Because his name is David. So the prayers of David, the son of Jesse, has ended. So who is David? David is Solomon. In other words, the king name, King David, also goes by the name of Jesse. So the Psalm of Solomon is basically telling you that Solomon was named after his father. So the prayers of David, which is the Psalm of Solomon, have ended, makes him the son of Jesse. Therefore, he's the son of Jehovah. So you will stand in the house of Jehovah, in the courtyards of God. For Jehovah, make melody to his name. Jah has chosen even Jacob for himself, Israel for his special property. In other words, Israel is God himself, who is the father to Josedek. So of the sons of Jesus, the son of Josedek. In other words, Jesus is the son of Joseph, and then he has sons. So Jesus, the grandson to Jacob. So who is Jacob? Jacob is the firstborn. God acknowledged him as the firstborn. Why? Because Jacob is God himself. And who did Jacob begat? Jacob, who is God himself, begot Joseph, the husband of Mary. And then Joseph, the husband of Mary, had Jesus. And then Jesus had sons. So let's look at one of his sons right now. He has a son named Sirach. So Jesus was the son of Sirach and grandchild to Jesus. So Jesus, the son of Joseph, had a son named Sirach. And then he named his son Jesus. When it is supposed to be here? In the latter times, after people had been led away captive. Because don't forget, they used the Old and New Testament format to hide the fact that they were planning to enslave the world for 430 years. So after the people were led away captive, that means after 2049, and called home again, and almost after all the prophets. Now his grandfather Jesus, as he himself witnesses, was a man of great diligence and wisdom. Therefore the first Jesus died, or he will appear to die. Then his son Sirach is going to give the book onto his son Jesus. So that's why it says this Jesus, the grandchild to Jesus, did imitate Solomon and was no less famous for wisdom and learning, both being indeed a man of great learning, and so reputed also. In other words, there's going to be at least 5 generations. That's why it is written, or 5 generations of Jacob and Joseph. So it's written in the Testament of Asher. Until the Most High shall visit the earth, coming himself as man, with men eating and drinking, and breaking the head of the dragon. Because don't forget, the dragon is on the bricks, $100 bills. In other words, the dragon is what's going to give the Antichrist his power. So breaking the head of the dragon in the water, he shall save Israel and all the Gentiles. God speaking in the person of man. Therefore do ye also, my children, tell these things to your children, that they disobey him not. So the Most High Jah, also goes by the name of Jacob, will have a son named Joseph in the end of times. But these people try to change the story. Who? Watch.
This is Henry Lord Darnley, father of King James IV and the First of England, Scotland, and Ireland. And this is Mary, Queen of the Scots, mother of King James. And this is King James himself. And here's yet another image of King James and what he really looked like. My source for all of this information comes from Cambridge University, from the book King James IV and the First Reunion of Christendom. This is one of the very few non-whitewashed images of the king that we have. And they couldn't whitewash this image because it was made on a fabric. So if they whitewashed it, it would destroy the image. They tried so hard to get rid of this information, but I have one question. Where did the dark-skinned, nappy-haired rulers go? If King James was ruling up into the 1600s, then what happened?
They intermingle and had children with white women. Simple like that. So as you can see, Jesus, the son of King David, Jesus descended from the line of Nathan, who's the son of King David, and his younger brother Solomon. So King David has at least two children, one named Nathan, one named Solomon. So that's why I said the genealogy of Jesus can be found in Matthew, from Abraham to Jesus. So it goes from Abraham to Solomon to Jesus. Don't forget, Abraham is Jacob himself. And who is Jesus? Jesus is Joshua. That makes him Jeshua. So Jesus' name in Hebrew was Yeshua, which translates in English to Joshua. And vowels are interchangeable. Therefore, Joshua means Jeshua. So they will tell you, David's son, King Solomon, is a father to Jesus. And Jesus has a son called Ezer. So Ezer is a son of Jesus. In other words, Jesus has at least two sons. One named Sirach, one named Ezer. But they're going out their ways to change the past. That's why Selassie said, I have the highest value for the Bible as a whole. I have the highest respect for the Bible as a whole. Therefore, the Bible should not be cut into portions. In other words, they put the same person in two different sections. So they got Joshua, who is Jesus, in the Old Testament, and they got Jesus in the New Testament. In other words, follow Jah, not man.